Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's second day of our training, and today we're going to go into, are you ready for it? Drum roll, please. Mastering the sale. Oh, yeah. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the training because I really love selling. That's probably one of my favorite things in the world to do, besides hanging out with the family or maybe going fishing or something like that. Like when it comes to work, I would say this is the part of my job that isn't really like a job. It's fun. I love it. I love it. I love talking to people. I love trying to figure out what their issues are, their solutions. I love trying to help them with those problems. I love helping my customers, and that's what I love about selling, is because you get an opportunity to help customers. Okay? Now, I want to start this off by saying, okay, and I want everyone here that's on the call to understand that selling is nothing more than what I just said. It is fun. It is exciting. It's a thrill, but it is nothing more than finding out what somebody's issues are, solving it for them, and you should feel ecstatic. You should feel excited. You should feel happy. You should feel blessed that you were put in a position to be able to help somebody with a problem. So, if anyone here has never sold anything before, and what I just told you about selling has you thinking about selling differently, put a 1 in the chat box right now. All right, that's good news, because you know what? This is what selling is all about, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. When I say mastering the sale, I'm not talking about anything else besides what I just talked about. This is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and you know what? When we all get into this training, you learn the things that I'm going to be talking about today. It's going to give you the armor and the weaponry. And I know that sounds kind of crazy because I just told you it's nothing more than helping people, but it's the stuff that you need to put on every single time you get on the phone or every single time you get out in the field. Okay? It's fun. It's fun. All right? You might even think of it more like a sport than war, because it's really not war. It's more like a sport, and everybody loves sports. Even if you're a kid, I don't know many people that didn't like to play kickball or Foursquare, any kind of sport. Everybody loves games because it's human. Human nature, we like to win. And what's amazing about selling is that, it puts you in that position to where you can win. And not only win, it's win-win because you get to help somebody at the same time. Now, if you're not helping somebody, then you shouldn't be selling them. If you don't have something that's going to help them, then you shouldn't be selling them. Okay? Now, yesterday we did send out the replay. I got a couple of things I want to cover before we get started, okay? First of all, if you have not yet received your account or your credits for your account, you must, this is required. I just had a meeting with Jasmine. You must send in your PayPal invoice, and here's why. Because we need to be able to verify you paid. This is not going through our system as normal, so it's possible, not probable or likely, but it's possible that somebody might try to get credits for something that they didn't pay for. And I don't think anybody here would do that. So if you were actually waiting for credits, you got to go in, open up a ticket and support inside the system, and send your invoice or your PayPal receipt so you can get your credits. Okay? This training is only going to be good once you get your credits so you can go out and do the stuff that I'm teaching you. Okay? So anybody here that's waiting for your credits, make sure you do that. Make sure you send out your receipts today. If you've not received your account yet, or if you have not received the training replay from yesterday or anything like that, just contact support. Not me. I am not support. I do not have time to respond to hundreds of people about little things like that. I want to help you. That's why I have people that I pay to help you. Okay, so you got to contact support. Please do not contact my email. I've been getting a lot of emails from you guys, and I want to help you, so I do respond. And I am sometimes the nice guy, but please, I'm asking you so I can help everyone more by doing what I do best, and that's this stuff. Okay, so send your support request to support. Send any of your issues to support. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, I'm going to ask everyone here if you would be willing to do me a solid. Okay, can I ask you guys a favor? Can I ask you guys a favor? Yes? If I could ask you a favor, if you feel at this point that I've provided some serious value to you, and you don't mind doing me a solid, please put a 1 in the chat box or yes or something. Okay, good. A lot of people are saying yes. Good. Okay, I want you guys to help me spread the word. Okay? Number 1, it's simple. Everyone here is on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, Twitter, anything. All I'm asking is that you post something with, share a link to Hot Prospector, hashtag Hot Prospector. Tell your friends that you're using this system to get more sales. Let them know that this system is helping you. Because, and here's the reason why. Because the better we do, the more I'm going to be able to do for you. Okay, there's no affiliate links or anything like that. Somebody asked me affiliate links. Look, I'm not promoting the system more than, look, I'm trying to give back. I didn't charge you, anything but just some credits to get in here. There's no big money play here. I'm trying to help you guys for Christmas. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing me a solid, share it on Facebook. Let people know that that you're using this system. Let people know that there is a tool out there that can help their business. And if you wouldn't mind sharing the love, that would be great. I really appreciate that. Okay, and that's the only thing you're ever going to hear me ask for. I'm not going to ask you for anything else. I'm not going to ask you to send me any money or anything like that. My goal here is just to try to get the word out. And the more we get the word out, the better it helps all of us, okay? So I appreciate it. For those of you that said you do that, thank you. Thank you. One other thing, if anybody here is a member of a church, if you're a member of a church and you want to help your church, we do offer a free account for churches that they can sign up for. We just have to have the name of the church, the pastor, the church, contact information, and then, the email. There's actually a group. If you go to Facebook and you type in Church Prospecting Group, there's a group. We'll probably come up with a better name down the road, but for right now, it's a group of people that are trying to help their churches. So if you want to be part of that, just go to Facebook, type in Church Prospecting Group. It's a closed group, which means it's open to join. All you got to do is just ask to join. We'll approve you, and then you can actually see some of the details and stuff like that we have in there, okay? And then one more piece of, I guess, I don't know what you call this before we start the webinar. There's a word for it. My mind just drew a blank. But one more housekeeping, one more little piece of housekeeping before we get started. I've had a lot of people hit me up, okay, saying, Mark, I don't really have a service to offer these customers. Do you have anything that I might be able to sell? If you are one of those people that do not have something to sell and could use some help in that arena, please put a 1 in the chat box right now. Say, I don't have a product to sell. And I notice some people here, okay, wow, a lot of you don't have a real product to sell. Okay. Well, look, we actually have a product for you to sell. That's Hot Prospector. You actually get a white labeled version of this system that you can sell to businesses. Not just the product, but the service itself you can offer to businesses. So if that's something that you're interested in and you'd like to hear more information about that, I'm going to do another webinar, probably, I don't know, later on this week or something. But if you're interested, I actually have a replay of the webinar on my YouTube channel from previous training. But if you want to go and check it out right away, go ahead, okay? Somebody asked, can you still charge $3,000 and $15,000 a month? Matter of fact, Mark, good question. We actually went out, and I'm actually going to pick up one check from one customer today that's $7,000, and that's a monthly check that they give me. So you could charge $1,500 if you want, but I mean we're charging 3, 6. This customer's paying me $7,000. I have $20,000 contracts, and that's not just giving people access to the system. That's actually helping them to get customers with the system, and we're generating thousands of. Actually, one of my customers is done 7 figures in this year with us, and we've been working with them for like 8 or 9 months, and we've generated them 7 figures in profit off of doing this. So if that's something you're interested in, this is the last thing, and then we're going to move on into this this training today. But if that's something you're interested in, yes, you can sell that, Mark. Good question. Yes, you can sell that. You just got to let me know that you're interested in that. We're running some special promotions right now for people coming on into the reseller program before the end of the year. So if that's something that you're interested in, this thing is selling like hotcakes. The service. We teach you how to find the clients. We teach you how to, just like this training here, except for at a different level. All right, it's for people who really want to go, big, and we call it, well, it's not what we call it. It's what it is. It's direct response marketing. Okay. All right. Ben, I recommended Hot Prospector to a mate 7 hours ago who's a beast of a closer. His first callback just then and had to leave the webinar. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, so now let's dig into the mastering the sale training. And just like I said in the beginning, this is about helping people. This is about solving their problems. Okay, so on this webinar, we're going to give a lot of quality information. This is stuff that you would probably pay thousands of dollars for if you were to go out and buy it from coaches. Because look, I mean, there's a lot of guys that come from the same places I've come from. We all sell the same way. Some people have different methods and stuff, but we all pretty much kind of learn the same way. And I think a lot of us talk the same message, maybe just with a different spin. This is really, really powerful training, and I'm giving this to you guys today because I want you to be able to use this system to the best of your abilities and actually make it profitable. So first thing is introduction to getting the sale. Okay, and as I put in quotes with actually looks like I had an extra one there. My bad, typo. But getting the sale, not somebody, not closing somebody, not hardcore closing somebody. It's getting the sale. I want to make it so you guys get people to give you the money. Getting past the gatekeeper every time. There will be times where you're going to have to pick up the phone and, if you're looking to really take your business to the next level, you're going to have to, go and sometimes call and get a gatekeeper, and I'm going to show you how to get past those people, their job, explain to you their job and how you can actually get around that. Yeah, Paul, these recordings are going to be in the training area. We're sending out replays for it. I'm not going to send out the replay every day. I think what I decided to do is just send out one last email because I don't want to bombard you guys with a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to send out one email after the training tomorrow, and that'll be the final. But they are in the same area, okay? But not in the training area Hot Prospector, by the way. It's a special link that you guys are getting. This is not something we're giving to every Hot Prospector member. So number 3 is how to qualify and weed out tire kickers. Tire kickers are a big waste of time. Those are the guys that, are going to get you on the phone, and they're going to ask you all kinds of questions, and they're not really serious, and they're never going to buy from you. So if you're not going to be able to help them and they don't want to be helped, then there's no point in wasting your time. We're going to go into that. Number 4, how to build immense value in your sales script. The sales script is really important. If you do the right things in that sales script, at the end of that script, it's like literally just a situation where there's no other option but for them to say, here's my money, right? If that's not what happened, then there's a problem that you didn't overcome. There's some kind of a question in their mind that you didn't overcome. We're going to talk about that. Number 5, overcoming objections like a pro. Look, objections really are nothing more than, they're not even really an objection. I guess that's the wrong word. It's just, a question that hasn't been answered, okay? And then the final thing that we're going to cover is closing the sale. But again, when I say closing the sale, I mean literally it's like closing a book. It's finishing up everything, making sure it's nice and neat, so that way you can move on and have a happy customer. So if you're excited about this training and you're excited about what you're about to learn, put a 1 in the chat box so I can turn the page. Cool. Awesome. Okay, good. All right, so let's move on. So first off, there's some rules that you need to know in order to be successful. And this is not nothing that you probably never heard before, but it's something that you need to hear over and over again, because repetition is what creates skill. You've got to do something every day to see success. You can't just do it every now and then. Winning is an all-the-time thing, my friend Vince Lombardi says, right? He's not my friend, but you know what I mean. That is the type of mentality that you need to go into in your business on a daily basis. Forget about sales, just your business. If you want to win, you're not going to win today and then maybe win next month. You're going to win today, tomorrow, and every single day, even on Saturdays, even on Sundays. This is your business. And you've got to be motivated. You've got to be excited. You've got to be ready to hit the ground running on a daily basis. Okay? And I'm not just saying that in like this cheesy way, right? You have to sit back and think to yourself, self, do I really want this? Because a lot of you are going to say, yeah, Mark, I do really want this. This is what I want. This is why, I'm on this webinar. Why else would I be here if I didn't want it? Well, actually, I am going to talk to you. You know who you are, the one that's sitting here on this call right now, that's here because you're afraid to actually take action. You're here because you don't want success. You're just here passing time. Because if you want success, you will do what it takes every single day. And, it's not meant to be cheesy. You've got to get off the couch. You've got to be motivated. Look, you're going to die. Every one of us here is going to die. Do you want to be getting to the point in your life 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years from now, whatever that is, laying on your deathbed saying, well, if I coulda, or if I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda? No, right? So get into that mindset right now. Make that decision if you haven't actually made that decision. And if you're not making that decision, if you've decided after what I've just told you that that's not something you want to do, then just quit. Now, save yourself some trouble. No need in coming here. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no this decision that you're making by quitting now is just it's your life. It's what you chose. Not everybody is going to do the same things in life, but don't waste your time. I want to deal with a bunch of people here. I want a group of people here that are motivated, that are ready to take action. That not just because it's not about the money. It's about we have to surround ourselves with like-minded people. All right? So if that struck a chord with you, then the rest of this training is really going to mean a lot for you. Okay? So in order to be successful, repetition creates skill. You've got to do it every day. You've got to fail forward fast. Send out those emails. Okay? Send out those voicemails. Those are the only two things. Those are the only two things that you can control. You cannot control anything but what you do every day, okay? And if you get 10 presentations a week, and when I say 10 presentations, I mean getting on the phone with somebody, showing them your screen, talking to them about the benefits. Remember what I told you earlier on in the call, in the beginning, that the sale is helping somebody. So if you can get in there and look at somebody's problems and identify where you can give them the solution, and you do that 10 times a week, how many deals do you think you're going to get? Even if you can only close one or two of those, that's $6,000 a week, bringing on $1,500, $3,000 a week extra residual income, okay? So that's the kind of thing you got to be thinking about. And yes, the money sounds exciting, but the money means nothing if you're not willing to do what we talked about earlier on, okay? Now, in order to be in this state that I'm talking about and be consistent, you have to be convinced. And I promise you, every single person on this call has the ability to do this one thing, and that is to be convinced of what you are offering. You got to be certain. You got to be convicted that you have what they need. And again, Zig Ziglar, another great sales motivator, said it best. If you want to get it, right, if you want to get what you want, you got to help a lot of other people get what they want. It's not about you. And another thing that he said, which I really love, is if you're selling a product that you wouldn't buy yourself, then don't sell it. Okay? Do not sell it, because that you'll never be able to sell something that you're not truly convinced of in your own mind. If you struggle, and this is why I get excited, this is not meant to be a pitch for the reseller program or whatnot, but if you struggle with selling a product like SEO because you don't really understand it, but you're trying to sell it because you're in a group where somebody else is making money doing it, you're actually not helping anybody. And you'll never sell enough customers. But if you know something and you see the proof and you know that it can be done, and it's in your mind, it's big, you've got it, you're just, it's a part of you, that you're going to sell. Okay, so what's your why? You're either the cheapest or you're the best, but I promise you, when it comes to selling, you don't want to be the cheapest. You want to be the best. And if you're the best, nobody is going to be able to beat you. That's what sets you apart from everyone else, because in your mind, your confidence that you're the best is what's going to close them. Okay, I know we're the best in quality. I know we're the best in service. I know that I provide the best value. With Hot Prospector, we pour so much into this software. We pour so much into our support. We do everything that we can to help our customers, and I'm confident of that. You know, when I walk into a client, as a matter of fact, you know, just to give you a short little side story, I walked in to a car dealership. We sold them a package, a service, using our system to help them get customers. And literally, when I first walked in, I started telling him about what it was. He stopped me about 3 minutes into my pitch, and he says, you know what, look, we're going to sign up, and I'll tell you why. His words exactly. He goes, I can obviously tell you're 100% convinced that this is something that's going to work, and because of your passion, I want to do business with you. That's exactly what he said. And literally, that was like one of my fastest sales ever. He's sitting at the deal desk. I walk up to him. 3 minutes later, he's signing a contract. How would you like to get that every day? It's possible. It really is when you're convinced. It really is when you know you have the right product. It really is when you know your why and it's in you and it's just there. If this is speaking to you and you're excited, go ahead, put an amen in the chat box. Put a 1 in the chat box, something, because you know what? This stuff that we're talking about here is not just words. I mean every single word I'm saying. I 100% am convinced about this. And I know for sure every single one of you in here can and will do much better in your business when you fix this one thing, okay? Now, let's talk about the 8-second rule, okay? When I first started this call, and everything I do, you guys can take it and you can model this, all right? You could take everything that I've done in this webinar and model this for the perfect sale, okay? I started off this call excited. I started off this call pumped up. You know how I got ready for this call? I know you laugh, but I love epic music. I love that Celtic epic music, you know, the stuff that you watch in Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. It gets me motivated. So I'm turning up my epic Celtic music before this call, getting pumped up. You know why? Because I needed my mindset to be right for me to be able to influence your heart, for me to influence your mind, for me to get you off the couch and get you out there. I had literally about 8 seconds to get your attention. And that's exactly what you have. When you go into a store or a business, when you call a customer up and you want them to do business with you, you have 8 seconds. This is proven to get their attention, for them to get their impression. They've closed their eyes, okay? And they can see a picture of you in their eyes. And that picture better be somebody that they respect. It better be someone that they trust. It better be somebody that they think is going to help their business. Because if not, you're not going to get the sale. And it's that quick. So how do you get yourself to that point? Get excited. Be motivated and helpful. And again, it's all going to step by step right into this process. If you know what you're selling is awesome and you know that it's going to help them, this is going to be easy. Put a 1 in the chat box if that makes sense to you. But now you see it's a step by step by step. All right, I got a lot of 1s and I don't always recognize you for it, but I'm glad you're participating because this is serious, okay? Be eager. Know what you're talking about. Be the pro. And if you're not 100% of your mind about, you don't know everything, that's okay. As long as you know it works, you can be the pro in your mind. All right? As long as they know that it's going to help them, that's what's going to build the rapport, and that's what's going to build the trust. Now, the next thing to keep in mind, and like I said this in the very beginning before you got involved with this whole thing, qualify, qualify, qualify. You cannot close every single person that you see. Even the best salesperson in the world is not able to have 100% closing percentage. So you need to know that going in, and you're going to be looking for those 3 things that you need in order to make the sale. They need to have the need, right? If you go up to somebody and you try to sell them, I make jokes sometimes about how I can sell ice to Eskimos and homeowners insurance to someone who don't own a home, okay? That's a joke. In real life, if you sell somebody something that they don't need, then you're a bad person, okay? I don't care how good of a salesperson you are. You should not sell somebody something that they need, all right? So first find the need that they have. If they need whatever it is that you're offering, whether it's a new website or it's this or that or whatever, don't just sell it to them because you can talk them into thinking that they're going to get something better and take their money. Give them the best of you. All right? So first, find out if they have the need. Number 2, do they want it? If you're talking to somebody and you have to really just kind of slap them around to get their attention, well, they don't want it, right? So don't try to just waste your time talking to them in person or on the phone for 30 minutes or an hour, or chase them down. Who here has chased down somebody for weeks and hoping because you thought that they might be interested on the very first call that you talked to them, they gave you their time? Yes? Okay, go ahead, put it in there. A lot of you, okay? That is because the person that you talked to on the phone, you didn't qualify. They didn't have a want for what you had. Had they wanted it, then they would have committed to you. Okay? Now, if you don't get them to listen to you, now there are times where people are busy, so you got to use your better judgment, but don't chase people down who really don't want to talk to you. Okay? Now, again, I'm saying this with some caution here. I've been the guy who's not been easy to get a hold of. I don't waste people's time. If I'm interested in something and I tell you I'm interested, and then all of a sudden I become unreachable for a few days or a week, or it's because I have a really busy schedule. Right? So how do you find out if that is something that's the case versus, you're just chasing somebody down? Okay? You got to ask. Like at the end of my calls or at the end of my meeting, I'm like, look, now I just want to make sure, because I'm not going to try to waste your time. This is exactly how I say it, guys. I don't want to try to waste your time. I'm not going to chase you down because, I know you're busy. We're both busy. Let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hottest and 1 being completely cold, how serious or how close are you to signing up for this, whatever it is? That scale of 1 to 10 is going to tell you a lot. Somebody says they're a 5, they're not going to buy because they're always over, pushing it up a little bit, okay? They're telling you they're a 5, then they're probably a 3 or a 2. They're not going to buy. If they say that they're an 8, okay, then I go, wow, I'll tell them that's pretty close. Okay, so I can almost get you to do this right now, right? Tell me this. What else are we holding off on? What else is there that I need to solve for you? What are you missing to be able to make this to a 10? You see what I mean? Now, when you know that gauge, I hope you guys wrote that down. Who's taking notes? Because that's not on the screen here. You taking notes? Are you awake? Okay, good. Because that is one of my biggest closing tools, period. I've closed guys who said they're going to wait. Okay, they're going to wait. I've gotten them to buy right then and there just by asking that question, because guess what that does? It gives you the ability to find out on that, before you leave, if they really would buy right now, if they really would sign up right now. And why not? Why not right now? Why not now versus a month from now? If it's only as simple as that one little thing, let's fix it. Let's fix it right now. Why wait until tomorrow? Well, we could do today. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close are you here? 1 being cold, 10 being completely hot. And, if they say 5, I go, whoa. I use like some serious, I want them to see. I'm a little over animated when I get into my sales calls. Okay, I'll say, whoa, are you serious? wow, I must have completely dropped the ball here. I don't know what I did. If you're just a 5, then I missed something. Tell me, where are we at here? What, you see what I mean? Now that gives you an opportunity to fix it, okay? This is kind of a closing tip and stuff that I'm talking about now, but I just wanted to bring this up, and we'll probably reiterate it again a little later on because, hey, repetition creates skill, right? But anyways, you want to get the need, you want the want, you want the ability, and the ability meaning can they afford to pay for it, okay? On that first conversation, the qualify conversation, I'm only looking for somebody to say yes or no. They don't have to buy right now, but I need a yes or a no. Are you going to be serious? Or are you not going to be serious about this? If you're not, that's fine. I'm moving on. You're moving on. Hey, let's go back to life. Okay? I'm going to find somebody who is. Move on. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Go ahead and type that in the chat box right now. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. All right. How to get the sale. Remember what I said. Get the sale. Not how to push somebody into doing something that they don't need. How to get the sale. Well, first off, like I said, what is closing? It's nothing more than helping others, influencing them to be able to do what they know they should be doing. A lot of times people get caught up in the emotion of the sale, like they're scared to make the decision because they're in their own way. They're like, man, this is $3,000 in my business. I got, payroll and this and that, and man, I shouldn't do this. Right? But they have the money and they know they need to do it. So your job is to help them find out as the consultant, okay, how they can make this work. And if it is going to help them, then why they have no better thing, or there's nothing that they could do better for themselves than to say yes to you and let you fix it. Okay? So there's usually a couple of things that's stopping people from buying. It's usually either themselves, they don't trust themselves, or they don't trust you. It's very seldom that they don't have the money. So as long as they trust themselves and they trust you, they can find the money. I mean, if I told you guys here on this call right now, okay, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box if this is true, and don't answer yet. I want to make sure that, this is true. If I told you, hey, right now, you send me a check for $5,000 tomorrow, I'm going to show you a way that you can actually take that $5,000 and turn it into $20,000. Who here, put a 1 in the chat box if you can come up with $5,000. Jose said I did it already. Okay, a lot of you, right? You come up with that money, and why? Because you believe it, right? Now, for those of you that didn't say yes, here's why. Number one, you could come up with the money somehow, some way. If I told you that I kidnapped your child or your favorite loved one, and you had to come up with $5,000 or they're dead, you'd find the $5,000. Now that's a really horrible analogy, but you get it, right? Because if you had to come up with the money, you could. Okay? And that's the way your clients are. You just got to think in your mind, well, am I really helping them? Okay? Am I really helping them? And if you can know in your mind, in your heart that you're helping them, then doing this, influencing them, helping them to get past their own emotions and their own things in their mind that's keeping them from saying yes, you're doing the right thing. Okay? So how do you close this sale? And what I mean is every single sale that you're on the phone with, how do you close that sale? Well, remember, just like I said before, you cannot close everyone. You only close the ones that you can close. You can only get the ones to sign that can actually be sold. You cannot force them to say yes. There's no way that you're going to get some guy or gal to grab their hand and sign their name on your contract, okay, if they are not going to sign. So don't try to force them. Don't try to pressure them. They call that a steamroll in the business and sales. Don't try to steamroll, roll over somebody's objections and just push. It's not going to get you a long-term business that you can grow, okay? But if you're doing your best and you got the passion and you're excited and you're motivated and you know this is going to work for them and there's no reason for them to not buy and you're just excited about that, they're going to have buying signals. They're going to ask things like, well, do you offer payment plans? And how soon should I expect to get results? And what is your time frame for getting me set up? Those types of things are called buying signals. Any question that they ask that is related, that puts them in the position of owning your service or owning your product is a buying signal. If you hear those buying signals being, you should have alerts going off. Hey, this person's actually about to buy, and I need to take them. Stop talking about the product. I need to take them down the process of getting into it, because you've already done your job. Does that make sense? Okay, let me just say this one more time. If you get buying signals, that should be an alert to you to start to taper your process down to the close. Like, look at it like a pathway, okay? When you get to this point, okay, when you hear those things going off, you should hear bells. Stop, 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 stop. Don't sell anymore. Because what ends up happening is a lot of over-anxious, quote, salespeople start pushing even more because they hear this stuff and they get excited because they're like, oh, this person's excited. I'm going to tell them more because I love this excitement. No, more exciting is actually working with them as a customer. So slow down, because you can actually sell them out of your product or service at that point. So slow down and look at the path and see that the path is now narrowing to the finish line. You see the finish line, get to it quickly. Grab them by the hand and jump right to that finish line and say, let me just go ahead and get, you started today, okay? So that's something you got to just be aware of. If you hear buying signals, slow down and get into that sale quickly. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. And sometimes people will be ready to buy right off the bat almost. It's weird. I've had them. They're called a laydown, And again, I'm very careful with laydowns where I want to make sure that they understand everything, because I don't want them to just sign up for something that they don't need, want, or have the ability to own, okay? That's just, like I said, it makes you a bad person, okay? Objections, okay? Back to what I said earlier. Those are questions. Those are actually good. If you get somebody that says something, besides just like a flat out, I'm not interested in the very beginning of the call without hearing you out, those aren't objections. That's just some guy or gal who's being rude. Okay, but if you get an objection in the middle of the presentation or toward the end of the presentation, like, I can't afford this. Okay, great. They just let you know what you have to overcome to help them get this product or service. You already know that budget's tight, or they don't see the value yet. Okay, so what you do is you start asking questions to get a better understanding of the situation, and there's no real wrong or right question. A lot of people think you got to have like the special, there's this one thing that you ask, and then all of a sudden their credit card and their checkbook fly open and they're ready to be your customer. No. You've got to ask questions. And it's just like if you were in a situation to where you've got a person that you're just talking to about something, and they tell you something and you want to help them, right? Maybe it's a friend who's got this problem at home, or they've got this situation, or maybe something as simple as like, hey, you know how to work on cars, and somebody tells you they got they got this thing happening with their car. What would any mechanic do? What would any doctor do if you went into the doctor's office and said, hey, it hurts when I do this, and the doctor would say, well, tell me a little bit more. How long has this been happening, and this and that? It's the same thing, right? Those questions that you're asking, you think logically in your mind, well, okay, well, they're saying this, why? Don't just say, well, why is that? Because that's just irritating. If somebody asks me, hey, if you walk in and someone, you go to the doctor and the doctor says, you tell the doctor, hey, doc, my brain hurts, my head hurts. And he goes, why? That would irritate you, right? So you got to think, put yourself in that position. If you're the customer saying, I just don't have the money for this, don't say why, or I'm not interested in this after you've gone through it. Don't say why. You got to ask questions that are going to help you find out really what's the underlying condition, what's the reason why they think that, because they don't know what you know. Is this helping? Put a 1 in the chat box if this is helping. Yes? Okay, good. All right, so here's the final piece that a lot of people just forget. Ready? Ask for the sale. Just ask. At the end, and it's assuming the sale or whatever, but ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get anything. That's it. You're not. You don't get anything, right? One of my favorite quotes that a friend of mine says, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So ask, and you shall receive. Okay? Ask. So when you do the things that I've just mentioned to you, the sale is natural. It's going to just happen. They will open their checkbooks. They will pull up their credit cards, and you don't have to pressure them. I have another example of a customer who I had a call with last week. You know, she was very interested in what I had to offer. I explained everything to her. At the end of the sale, you know, I gave her all the value that she needed, everything she needed to make a decision. But she was, at the end, she asked some simple questions, and one of the questions that she asked was, you know, do you have a payment plan? Okay. Now that payment plan is an alert. What is that? Go ahead, put it in the chat box. Do you have a payment plan? What is that? That's right. It's a buying signal, right? That's a buying signal. So I heard this buying signal, and I knew that I had done my job. I'm done at this point. Okay, I can now move on to wrapping up the sale, which is asking for the payment information, so we can go ahead and get this person set up and in our service, and they can start benefiting from this. But I knew that it was just there was some kind of a situation that was making it so. So I asked a question. I said, okay, so let me ask you this. So is the money as tight, or is it that you're hesitant to make that entire investment up front, not knowing what the outcome will be? You see what I did, right? I asked, is it that your budget's tight, or is it that you don't think this is going to work yet, or you're not sure if it's going to work, so you're trying to leverage you're hedging your bets here. If that helps you close your next deal, I'm telling you, it will help you close your deal and next deal without giving away money. Okay? Because a lot of times people will ask if you have payment plans because they're just trying to be cheap, right? And it has nothing to do with your price. They're just making out like, hey, look, as much money as I can keep into my bank account, the better. And if you're willing to just say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you a payment plan on that down payment, well, then they're going to take you up on it, right? This is negotiation 101. So I asked that question. Now it's up to her to be honest to me, but guess what? I've been honest to her. I've told her everything up front. It's the truth. So why would she lie to me unless she's just a bad person? And I don't want to do business with somebody like that, right? So she said, money is just tight. My budget's tight. And I have actually, she opened up a little more. She goes, I have bills and stuff like that that's got to happen on these dates. And, I want to do this. And I think what you're saying is going to help me. But I have like these things that are due. And, and I said, okay, stop. Look, I want to help you. And this is true. This is not some cheesy thing. And if you say this without being real about it, they're going to detect it. Okay, humans have this little spidey sense that goes off and says, this person's a liar. Be careful. Most of us do. There are some people that are easily fooled. But when you hear that, right, here's what I said to her. I said, okay, well, look, if I were able to give you a payment plan, let's say I give you half today and you pay the other half off next month, would that help you? Now, listen to the way I said this, okay? If I gave you a payment plan to where you could pay half when? Put it in there. Today, exactly, right now, not tomorrow. If you paid half today and the other half in 30 days, would that help you? What do you think she said? Yes, it would help me. That would help me. You just made that customer happy. And guess what? You didn't have to give away something that you wouldn't have had to give away. If this helps you understand the art of this payment drop, say thank you. You could just say TY. I just want to see if this is something that's helping you. Okay, good. That's it. That is 100% it. Okay? So like I said, the sale is a natural occurrence. You got to memorize your script. Now, when I say memorize your script, I don't want you to have the, like your Shakespeare up on stage here, to be or not to be, whatever. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for you to know it in your heart, in your soul, to when you give it to them, you're giving it with conviction. Okay? You should be able to talk about what you have, not read it, right? Because people, again, people are smart. All of you are smart. Would you guys be able to detect right now if I was reading a script that this was all from my heart? This is all from my heart, and I believe it. And I know most of you guys know that. Okay? So the same thing works with your script. That's what's going to sell them. Okay? As far as rebuttals are concerned, you got to memorize those too. And this takes practice. Remember, repetition's going to create skills. Repetition. Keep doing it over and over, and you're going to get it. Role play. Find a friend. Call somebody that you think that would, ask them, hey, I'd like to ask for your help. I'm trying to learn a different skill, and I'd like to be able to role play with you. You can play like my customer, and I'm going to play like, I know that sounds goofy, but hey, who wants to be successful? Then do it. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. Let them throw you some curveballs, and you'll get better. It'll be fun. Trust me. And hey, if you have a little fun with it and associate it with fun in the beginning, when it actually happens, you're not going to be frustrated about it. You're going to be ready. Okay. So, like I said, if they object, ask more questions, give sincere answers, and then guide them to the path of the right decision. Okay. All right. So let's get into talking to the DM or getting to the decision maker. Okay. Who here has ever worked with a gatekeeper before? And who doesn't know what a gatekeeper is? Well, I'll just go ahead and say a gatekeeper is the person who answers the phone. We call them a gatekeeper. It's kind of a term of endearment for me, but for some people, they feel like this gatekeeper is not going to let me through. They're just going to stop me from getting to that decision maker, no matter what. GK stands for gatekeeper. DM stands for decision maker. And to me, they're more than those things, but I just put this here because this is the best way to explain it. When I talk to somebody on the phone who's a secretary, they're not a gatekeeper. They're going to be my friend in a way where I'm not going to waste their time, and they know that. Their job is, they cannot take your call and just sit on the phone with you for 20 minutes. If so, boy, they're going to get fired. Okay? Their job, what they're hired for is to put you through to the decision maker. That's it. Nothing else. And yeah, the decision maker is going to get frustrated if they put too many of those sales calls through, especially if they put somebody through who's, a mean person or, a scammer or whatever, doesn't care about their business. But if you get through because you went through my training and you know that you're going to be able to help them, well, they're going to thank that gatekeeper for getting you through, okay? So how do you get through? Well, first of all, sound authoritative. Okay, don't go into this being weak and scared, because just like in the very beginning when I was talking about how excited and motivated and pumped up you have to be to get the sale, the same thing works when you're getting through the gatekeeper. If you sound like you don't know who you're calling, what you're talking about, none of those things, you're not going to get through. So sound authoritative and be direct. Don't be a jerk. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. Don't be like, I'm the boss. You're just making $10 an hour. Put me through to your decision maker. No. You got to go into this being authoritative and professional. Okay. If you have the name of the first name of the decision maker, use their first name. Don't use first and last name. And like I said, kind of act like you're the friend of the decision maker. Don't say, oh yeah, we've got a tennis match this week. That's lying. Don't be, shady. But just make it sound like you're calling somebody who you met maybe at an event or something. In the tone, nothing else but that. They're like, yeah, is John there? It's Mark. And if you say it's you, they're going to, oh, it's Mark. Oh, let me get John. Right? That's the point of this. If they don't give you the decision maker right off the bat, the next thing to do is start doing some data mining. Start asking some simple, non-intrusive type questions. Don't ask like, hey, how much money did you make last month? But you'd be surprised how much the person who's answering the phone actually knows. So you ask some things in a conversation type tone. How's business lately? Is it picking up? Oh yeah, things are great. This is our best month ever. That kind of thing. Because you want to use them to give you as much information as possible. This is a networking opportunity for you. This is the way you should be looking at this. This is nothing more than just gathering intelligence. Okay? And then maybe ask something like, okay, he's not around. Well, when's the best time to reach John, or when's the best time to reach Jill? Okay. And, any data that you might have purchased or own or actually have already, confirm that. Hey, I got this email here. It says john@yourcompany.com. Is that still the best email? Oh, no, actually, John's email is actually j.smith@yourcompany.com. Oh, okay, well, thanks. I appreciate that. You don't happen to have his cell phone number, do you? You see how that happened? Like the conversation, she gave me the email. Now I'm just going to expect her to give me something else. Or he. Okay? Just get it while you can. And they may stop you and say, no, I can't give you that information. Oh, I understand. Look, I'm going to send them over an email. Thanks so much for your time. Or can you put me through the voicemail so I can leave them a voicemail? That's it. Can everybody hear me? Somebody said they don't have sound. Okay, good. All right, great. So confirm your data with the Gatekeeper, move on. Okay, awesome. Now, this is something that's important. And again, everything I'm telling you is in a polite and professional tone. Never be mean or rude. I actually worked in a call center when I first got into sales, 2000 till like 2005-ish or 2004, somewhere around there. And these people thought that if they're rude, like a collection agency, they can get through and get more information and push their way through. And you know what? That's not how you do it. Okay, you can ask them, or you could tell them to do something without being rude. Okay, what I mean by that is, what's John's email? Oh, well, I can't give you John's email address. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Look, I had some information I'm supposed to send over to him before the end of the day. So if you have the email, it'd be great. If not, I completely understand. If you want to just put me through the voicemail, I'll tell him. But hopefully he gets this voicemail in time. You see what I mean? If you say that with conviction and that sort of thing, and then they may go, you know what? All right, let me give you my email and I'll forward it over. Or they'll say, here's his email. Like that's what you're looking to do. Okay. If they start asking you things, or even, I actually heard this happen a lot before too when I listen to people selling on the phone. They start volunteering all kinds of information. John's not available. Oh, well, I'm actually a web design company, and we've been looking at your website, and I think that we can help you, with your website. And we have this great package deal that we're running right now. And today's, there's only 2 more weeks left till the end of the year, and we're running this special. Oh, okay. Well, I'll let them know that you called. Here's what's really happening. She's looking at your notes, or looking at your caller ID, and they're not going to call you back. They're not going to take the call anymore, or John's never going to be available. That's what happens when you volunteer too much information. Anyone ever have that happen to you and always wonder why? What happened? Why are now they're never able to get on the phone again? It's weird. What happened? You did it. Congratulations. You put yourself in the, this is a sales call department, and I don't have to worry about asking these people anymore. Okay? I got a lot of people saying, yep, haha, yes, yeah, truth, this happened to me. Right. So if you want that to not happen, just be a little more vague. But don't be too vague to where they're like, now what's this person got to hide? You want them to have questions in their mind, whether or not this is the actual, whether it's a sales call or it's not. Because guess what? If this gatekeeper messes up and doesn't put through somebody who actually is a potential business opportunity for that company, and that company misses out on millions or thousands of dollars, will that gatekeeper have their job next time you call? Probably not. Okay? So just be careful. Okay? Don't give up too much information. Never pitch the gatekeeper. Never say, well, let me tell you about what we have, and think that they're going to get excited and buy from you. I've heard people say that they do that, and I don't understand why. Unless the person who's the gatekeeper is actually a decision maker. You can find that out. Maybe you're calling a dental office. Maybe they're saying, oh, yeah, I'm the office manager, and you're never going to get to the dentist anyways. You're never going to talk to the doctor anyways because they're just too busy. They work their tail off all day, and then they go home. They're beat, right? The office manager runs the show. They make the decisions, or they decide what they're going to bring forth to the doctor. Okay? All right. So just, never pitch to the gatekeeper. Make sure that if it's the gatekeeper that they actually make the decision. And also ask them if they say, well, you could tell me about it. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have some kind of a role in this decision? And if they say yes, okay, well, great. Let's move forward. Okay? Always use the answer questions with answers, or always use answers with questions technique. I never answer a question straight answer when I'm talking to somebody who's not the decision maker. I'm going to ask more questions to try to get them to answer more of my questions. All right, and in the last resort, if you're just, you cannot get the right people's email or name or whatever, decision maker, whatever, just, you know what, can I get the voicemail? Here's what happens. When you get to voicemail, number one, a lot of times they say, hi, this is John with blah, 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 and now you know who it is. Okay. Number two, you can sometimes get into their Audex phone system and you can actually start talking to somebody else. This is a little bit secret ninja way to get through. Because if you can get past the gatekeeper, right? The gatekeeper is like this wall in the beginning, but if you can tunnel under that wall, then you end up getting into somebody who doesn't know and they're not expecting that you're a salesperson, right? So you go in to the Audex or their phone system, and then you push another extension, and you end up getting somebody like maybe in a different department. And guess what? You can ask them, hey, you know what? I actually was transferring over to so-and-so, but I'm not even sure if that's the right person. Who handles your X? That's a little tip, a little trick that's worked for me a lot of times, and I've gotten information that I know that nobody. And you may be thinking, well, why do I want to go through all that? Here's why: because nobody can get through that wall. And if you did, you're going to actually have a way better chance of getting the sale, because nobody else will ever do what you just did. And that deal is the unicorn. That is the one that could be tens of thousands of dollars and could change your life. Jonathan says gold, dude. Yes, it is. All right? That little tip right there has made me a lot of money. And, you get in behind the scenes and boom, you got the deal. All right? Okay, so here's how the conversation might go. Something like this. So the gatekeeper answers, good afternoon, ABC Company. May I help you? You say, yeah, John, please. It's Mark. Thanks. Now, I say thanks and stop because that shuts off usually what happens at that point is they're going to go one of two things. They're going to say either, is he expecting your call, or they're going to say, hold please. Okay? That's it. Those are the two things. Try it. See what happens. You'll be surprised. That's what's happening. I know, and I've done it so many times, and I've taught so many people how to do it. I know exactly how to influence what exactly I want to happen, and I want this to happen. One of these two things is going to happen. Okay? So the gatekeeper says, is he expecting your call? Well, yes, I actually sent some information from the head office. I need to go over it by the end of the day. I'll hold for John. Thanks. What did I just do? I just shut it down again. The gatekeeper they don't know what to do, because they're like, okay, hold on. Right? Now, there are some that are more trained that will say, well, what did you send over, or something like, I don't know. There are some unique situations that may arise, but 90% of the time you're going through. Okay? So some decision maker talking points, so some things to keep in mind. All right? Number one, memorize your script. Like I've already said that a bunch of times. And repetition creates skills. So if you think, Mark, I already heard this before, that's okay. Because you're going to remember something that you didn't hear, or you're going to hear something you didn't think you heard, or whatever. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. Go find a friend, practice in the mirror, talk to your dog, whatever. Just don't get caught doing it out in public and be like, yeah, Mark told me that I should practice, so I'm just talking to myself. Be confident. Be confident. You just got to be motivated and excited about what you have. And if you are, like I said, I told you about that sale. I got 3 minutes in, walked right on into that dealership, and within 3 minutes they're like, here, let's do this. And most people don't get those kind of sales. You know why? Because they don't really believe in what they sell. Last, focus on the benefits, not the features. Features are bad. Okay? Features, bad. Everybody say it? Go ahead, type it. Features, bad. Do not talk about the fact that you're selling a WordPress site, or you're going to get them more backlinks, or you're going to help them with their keyword to text ratios, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They care about WIIFM. That's the radio station that they're all tuned into. What's in it for me? So if you're going to sell more customers your services and you're confident, you're excited, and you have a product that's going to help them, you just focus on the benefits. What are the benefits? Type in some benefits. What is a benefit? Anything. Put in what is a benefit. More money. There you go. More time. There you go. More customers. There you go. You guys are on track. Okay, good. Getting more customers. Type in what is a feature. Type in a feature. We covered them. Just anything. Just type it in there. WordPress. Yeah, that's a feature. Backlinks. Yes, that's a feature. Yeah, SEO is a feature. Saying I'm selling you search engine optimization. Why would you say that? Why would you call somebody up and say, hey, I'm selling you search engine optimization? I'm getting you on the first page of Google in the next X number of time because I'm the most, highly sought after expert in the field, whatever, right? And this is going to help you get more customers. Here's some examples, okay? That's what you should be talking about, okay? Talk in a relaxed and informal type of tone. You remember I said memorize your script. Well, there's a reason. Because if you have it memorized and you talk, wanna, gonna, how's it going, stuff like that, you're having a conversation and they don't feel like, they're talking to a robot. Robots can't sell. If they could, we know how at this point to program an AI machine that could actually detect the conversation and close somebody over the phone if that's all it took. But it takes human interaction. That's why sales is the most highly paid profession, period. You can go and be a doctor, you can be the president of the United States, and you're going to make less money than a salesperson, okay? Because they can't program this. Now, yeah, there's some people you can buy stuff online, blah, 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 whatever, right? That can happen, but guess what? It was written by a sales copywriter. We're never going anywhere. You need us, right? Remember A Few Good Men? You need people like me on that wall, whatever. All right? Get straight to the point. Don't go all over the place. Don't talk about their grandkids too much. Don't talk about the trip that you had last year. They don't care. They want to get to the point. Stay on topic, okay? And then, this is a big thing. What I'm teaching you in this potential or this system is the three-part sale. There's an open, which gets the curiosity. There's the qualify, which will get the right buyer opportunity, and then you schedule. Okay? You schedule to set up an appointment. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to push it out, because like I always say, why put off till tomorrow what you could do today? Okay? You gotta, if you hear an opportunity, seize the moment. Carpe diem. Okay? But I'm saying is when you're going into it, just realize that you can't always push somebody into making a decision on that first call. However, there is opportunity where you may just be at the right place at the right time, and someone might say, wait, stop, tell me. You said you do what? Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it. We're in the perfect, look, we just had this guy who came in and he started this and then, he dropped the ball. So tell me a little bit more about what you do. And it happens, right? You just got to be ready for that. So don't say, well, let me just set up an appointment for you for tomorrow because that's what Mark told me to do. I've got to have that three-part sale. Don't. Go into the presentation. Well, are you in front of a computer right now? Yeah, okay, well, let's look. And you'll get better at that as time goes on. Who's excited? Who's still with me? Put a 1 in the chat box. Got to make sure. Because I get excited and sometimes I just, okay, good. Good. Getting curiosity. Okay? Look. When you contact somebody on the very first call, it's very important that you do not go in as the owner. Who thinks that helps you? Going in as the owner. Hopefully none of you, right? Because sometimes I've talked to people and I'm coaching them on consulting, on how to sell more. Mark says, I thought so. I appreciate your honesty, Mark. Here's the thing. If you're a company, do you want to do business with the owner? Why? Because the owner's probably the one-man show, and does that owner really have enough time in his day to deal with me? I don't want to deal with something like that. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. There are situations where, they're going to get great response and great results. But you don't want them to think you're a one-man show or a one-lady band. Okay? You want them to think this company has their stuff together and I'm going to get the best service. Now, there is something to be said about working with a small business versus a big company. A lot of businesses choose to work with small businesses over big companies, and why? Go ahead. I'm going to let somebody answer this. Why is it? Why would somebody want to work with a small business over a big company? Service. Exactly. You're not just a number. When you sign up for web.com, versus you sign up for, Belinda Condell's service, right? Why? Why is that? Because your company is going to take them seriously because you need their business, and they know that. And a lot of times, small businesses provide superior service or superior products to bigger companies because a bigger company is like McDonald's. They're willing to just sacrifice quality to pump out more quantity. And most people recognize that, okay? So it's okay to be a small business, but it's not okay to be the owner when you call to make that sale. Hi, I'm the president and CEO of Wi-Fi.com, whatever, okay? So when you do call, you want to give your introduction. You want to make sure that, you do have some kind of an important title. You don't want to be the sales guy, but being the sales manager is okay. The vice president of sales is okay, but don't be the vice president of sales and sound like a telemarketer. Be the vice president of sales and have a professional reason for contacting them. Okay. Getting curiosity in my script, and you guys all have the script, so you'll see the stuff that we're doing here when you look at the script. But we have that headline benefit statement right in the very beginning that tells them the reason why we were calling them, and it gives them a benefit, some reason for them to do business with us. I like to use numbers a lot. Numbers always get somebody's attention, like we've done such and such for somebody. One line. Credibility statements, you could talk about results from your last customers. You could bring up any awards that you might have won. You can drop some names of some, big accounts that you've been working on. Like for example, we work with Toyota. We have actually gotten approved with, this is real. We've gotten approved to work with Nissan in their co-op with corporate, the Nissan corporate, not the little dinky dealership, but the actual corporate office. So I would say that to a car store, a car dealership when I'm pitching my services, okay? I mean, because it helps, right? They want to work with somebody who's influential, who's helping them, okay? Getting curiosity, again, reason for your call. Get right to it. Tell them why you're calling them and how it's going to be able to benefit them. Make a powerful offering. And then toward the end, make sure, not toward the end, but towards the, before you get too deep into the script, you want to make sure that they have time to talk, okay? I usually do all this what I just mentioned within the first paragraph or so, okay? And I'll, say something like, look, I just want to make sure you have a couple minutes to talk right now, or should I, schedule something later? A lot of times they're going to say I'm too busy, so you got to be careful how you lay that out, okay? So here's your opening. Introduction. Hi, John. My name is Mark Helton. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager here at Vegas Mobile. That's my introduction, right? Headline benefit statement. I'm the person responsible for increasing the sales for a lot of local business owners all over the country. That's your headline benefit statement. Okay, you can tweak these however you want, but this is just I'm giving you an example, okay? The reason for the call, right? Here's that next point. The reason I called is to introduce you to a new marketing system designed to help you get more customers and set you up with a free mobile website. Now, what I did was I'm going to help you get more customers, plus I'm going to get you a free mobile website. Now, if you were on the call yesterday, then you know where that's leading, and that's going to take me to a point to where we're going to offer them the mobile site at no cost, as long as they sign up as a customer, okay? Now, is now a good time to talk, or should we talk later? I ask that because, again, if they're interested in what you just said and you grab their attention with your short introduction, guess what happens? Go ahead, put it in the chat box. What happens? Tell me what you got. Exactly. I want to, yes, tell me more, okay? So you've got the qualities of that prospect, the true DM, meaning are they the person who makes the decision? Do they have a partner? It's okay if they have a partner, but if they have a partner, then wouldn't you like to know up front? Or would you rather wait until the end when they say, oh, well, I have a partner? You want to know up front. They have the desire to grow, meaning they don't say to you, you know what, like I've dealt with a lot of contractors and, you know, small businesses where it's just like a 1 or 2 or 3 man operation, and they say, oh, you know, we're just too busy. We're not taking any more business. That happens. Believe it or not, people actually do say, oh yeah, I only do like 1 roof a week. That's good enough for us. Hey, that's okay, fine. I'm glad I know that right up front, because they're not going to waste my time going into all this stuff to try to help you expand when you really don't want to expand. Now, you might actually have some other angle. Say, well, let me ask you this. Sounds like you want to have some freedom. Are you getting enough of that? Because I might be able to help you in that as well. You see how I spun that into a different angle? You take that desire to grow and say, well, what if I help you save some more time? Would that be better? Would that be more? Yes, actually, I'd love to spend more time. You know, look, I'm a pastor of my church. A lot of times, you know, business owners might have something else way more passion for them. They'd rather direct their time and energy towards. You know, maybe they are working with children. You know, or maybe they're retired a little bit and they want to fish or whatever. Right? You ask them that and find out what the real hot button is. Okay, you're not looking to grow. Well, maybe I can help you with more time. Would that help you? That's their bleeding neck, right? The bleeding neck. Bleeding neck is like a graphic type of representation of what the situation is. But this bleeding neck, imagine if somebody's neck is bleeding, what does that mean? It's critical, right? You're going to die. They feel like it's critical. My neck's bleeding, okay? So if I tell you, look, you know, I can help you save more time, or I can make you more money, or I can help you save more money, whatever that hot button is, their bleeding neck, and you're able to solve it, then they're going to be a good prospect, okay? Buyer mentality. This is a big one, okay? Don't ever try to sell somebody something who doesn't buy it, right? You know, if you're going to sell a newspaper, who's the best person to sell the newspaper to? If you're a newspaper salesman, you're walking down the street, is it the person who doesn't have a newspaper on their driveway or the person who has the newspaper on the driveway? It's the one who has the newspaper on the driveway. Your newspaper is just better, right? You already know that they're in the market for a newspaper. They just don't have the best one. And that's when you have an opportunity to come in and explain to them the benefits of what your newspaper offers versus that horrible newspaper that you've heard so many negative things about before you walked up, okay? And then the last thing is the financial means. We talked about that earlier. You know, don't sell something to somebody who doesn't have the money. You can't. They don't have the money. They're not going to buy. And if you know that going in, then you're going to be able to get their decision. So before you qualify, give your benefit statement. Look, our company only works with people that know we can at least double their sales. Do you see how powerful that is? Because now you've just set yourself up and said, look, we actually have ethics here. We only work with people that we know that we can at least double their sales. So now they're thinking in their mind, wait, this guy is going to potentially double my sales. Now don't be shady. Don't put something in here that's not true, because if you don't know that you can help somebody at that level, don't say that. Don't just say it because because it works. Say it because you mean it, okay? And then I like to do the takeaway. Okay, my takeaway is, look, this isn't for everyone, so I just need to ask some questions to make sure you're a good fit. Again, that makes you look responsible. When you start asking those questions, you know, look, you're not like everyone else. And I actually have a lot of people tell me that. Look, this is, you know why I listened to you, Mark? You know why I bought from you? Is because I could tell during the call that you weren't just like some other guys. Everybody else, you're different. It's this stuff that makes it different, okay? Now qualify, okay? So my first question, if you love what we talk about today, would you make the final decision, or do you have to run it by a partner first? What does that do? That makes sure that you're going to have someone who can make the decision. And if they do have a partner, you've opened up and you said, okay, if you have a partner, do they have to get in on this? Now if they said, yeah, I have a partner, I said, well, let's get them on the phone real quick. Are they in the office right now? Or do you want to do a three-way call? They may say, oh, well, you know, they're not here. But, you know, then my next question is, if they say that they can't get their partner involved, I'm going to tie them down. My tie down question is, okay, So would you, like, which one of you makes more of the decision? Like, who's more influential on the decision? Because a lot of partnership relationships, it's like one of them will be the one who makes a lot of these decisions, because partnerships aren't equal. No, anybody who tells you that, that's not true. Now, they might, as a courtesy, run it by each other, and they say, hey, let's meet, on Friday. We talk about these types of things before we make any financial commitments. But one of them is the one that handles these types of things. So you find out if you have that right partner on the phone, and if you do, ask them if they can make that decision. If they can't, well, then you need to get that other partner on the phone. Does that help? That actually is a big one. If partners is one of the biggest objections I hear people get, and it's the one that I love in this qualification. It just eliminates this. You're not going to have this objection anymore. You're welcome, Benjamin. You're welcome. This isn't going to happen for you anymore, because you're going to have this question that you're going to ask up front, and you're going to tie down the person you're talking to on the phone, and you're not going to have this problem ever occur again. If it does, you did it, or they lied. And I'll show you how to handle that in a second when we get into objections. Okay, next, how would you say, where do you do most of your business? Where do you do business? City, states, that kind of stuff. Now, this is a warm-up question. I'm asking this because I'm getting ready to ask them something else that's going to be a little bit more of a prying type of a situation. I'm going to ask them something that I know that they may not be willing to answer so easily. Okay, a warm-up question just helps lower their guard. Okay, so how would you say most of your customers hear about you? Okay, this lets you know if they do any advertising, right? Oh, well, most of our business is word of mouth. Oh boy, you're already in an uphill battle, right? We only do word of mouth. Well, that's okay. I mean, at least I know where I'm headed. But if they don't buy advertising, then you're going to have to make two sales now on the call. Number one, why they need to buy advertising, and number two, why they should buy your advertising, right? So what kinds of advertising or marketing are you currently doing? That's the next question. Then they're going to say, well, we have Yellow Pages, or we have a website, or we do some SEO we work with Google. Everybody thinks they're working with Google, right? Those are things that you want to write down. Next question, what's your average ticket per customer? Now, I'm asking this, what's your average ticket per customer, because I want to know how much money I'm going to be able to put into their pocket in just a minute. Okay? Remember that warm-up question that I asked earlier? This is leading to this question here. What's your average ticket? Oh, like $5,000. Okay. And on that $5,000, how much would you say your average profit is? Like 30%, 40%, 50%? Now, notice how I started throwing numbers. The reason why I do that is because when I start throwing those numbers, it gets them they're going to pick one, But if you say, well, how much profit do you have? They may say, well, I'm not going to answer. That's none of your business. And it really is your business, whether they realize it or not. Because if you don't care about their profits and what their tickets are and how much you can help them, then you don't really have there's no reason for them to talk to you, right? So I ask, what's your average profit? 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. I'll even get ridiculous like that until they finally answer. And if they say, well, I'm not going to answer, I say, look, let me just back off just 1 second. And number one, I don't want to waste your time. The reason why I'm asking you this is because it tells me if I can help you or not. And if you don't want to tell me this, then that means I won't be able to help you because you don't want me to help you. That's it. See how simple that was? It's just cut and dried. And the reason why it's cut and dried like that, guys, is because that's what you're doing. You're just helping somebody. You're just asking these questions to see if you can. That's it. If you don't go into it like that, then, you're wrong. Okay? How many more customers could you handle each week? And I actually like to say, you see where I say, wow, and that's all? And this is just stuff that I like to say because I want them to see that I know I can help them, If I were able to show you a way where I can help you. Now, this is my favorite question, and this is something you all should be asking before you go into any kind of a presentation. This is going to make you that $3,000 sale. Are you ready? If I were able to show you a way where I can help you earn 3 or 4 times your investment, could you make a $5,000 investment in your business right now? Now, if you're going to practice anything, to the point to where you could say it without being nervous, this is the one. Because everybody I've heard first few times that they say it, have never said it before, they get scared. Don't be scared. You're asking them, could you make that investment? Guys, this question is like, I know it took me a while to get to it, but this question right here is by far the most. It's the most important question. Because most people get to the bottom of they get to the end of their script, they get to the end of their presentation or whatever, and guess what they don't have? The ability to pay. Or they're not even willing. Okay? So if you do not get good at anything else, get really good at this. Making sure that if you have somebody where you can show them a way to make, 3 to 4 times the investment. If you gave me 5 and I gave you back 20, could you make a $5,000 investment in your business today? Just like what I told you guys earlier on, and a lot of you said, yeah, me. Okay? If you could do that same thing with these customers, you're going to get way more sales. Put a 1 in the chat box if you're excited about that question and you're going to use it tomorrow or today or whenever, right away. All right, next, build up value. I'm going to take a drink. So remember, I like to confirm their qualification, meaning I want them to know they're perfect. Okay? Perfect. And this is another thing, like when they say that, you know what, this is great, perfect, you're exactly the person I'm looking for. Let them know that. Because then, like all this other stuff that you said before then about how you only work with people that you can help, big time, and, if I can get you 3 or 4 times your investment, would you be willing to invest? Right, awesome, perfect. You're the person I'm looking to work with today. Okay? And by the way, I accidentally use stuff like, today, now, stuff like that. It's just habit. You'll get used to that after a while if you start using it, putting everything into the now, it's urgent type of thing, right? Because it is. Their business, they need to grow. What's the point of waiting until a week from now? You might actually not help them. Some other guy might come in and screw them over because you didn't get them off the market. And you know what? A lot of people, I say this, what's wrong with you? Why would you let that happen to them? Because you didn't want to do your best to make them buy with you, because you are a good, high-quality individual that's going to take good care of them. You let them go. Why would you have done that? Okay? I'm just trying to make you feel guilty so that way you'll go out there and sell today. All right, next, give benefits. As I mentioned, we only take on clients that we know we can double their sales or more from our relationship, right? That's that benefit. And then you can throw some stuff out there. We helped this company, they did this. You mentioned it, you could use another X customers every week, and, we aim to get you there. I'm going to go and put a plan together to get you there. And if I could show you a way to accomplish this, would this be the type of situation that interests you? So you're building that value up, and then what did I do at the end? Again, I'm tying them down. You've got to tie them down. And when I say tie somebody down, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You're actually saying to them, look, if I'm going to do all this stuff and it's going to help you, is that something you're interested in doing? Are you interested in my help? Right? Like an alcoholic or somebody who has a problem with drugs or whatever their addiction is, if they don't want to help, then you can't help them. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be able to help them if they say yes. Okay? Finish with the positive. Now, this is the presentation that we're going through, guys. This is the script. This is what's setting you up for that, not the presentation, but this is the script that's setting you up for the presentation. Okay? Finish with the positive, the setup, I like to call it. Okay? Perfect. Well, look, I'm going to set up a meeting with my manager of my business coordination department today, which could be you, by the way, depending on how big you are. They don't know that. And we're going to do some research on your business, see what you're currently doing, and we're going to put together a plan specifically for you. We're going to custom tailor something that's going to work just for you. Now, this is the scheduling of the appointment. I'm looking at my calendar. I have 2 appointments available, one later this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and then the other one's first thing in the morning around 10 a.m. Which one works best for you? Now, that just showed them that you're going to you're going to stop your business development manager from doing whatever they're doing right now and say, look, this person's urgent. I want to try to help them. Okay, can we do something today? Okay, and if they say, well, no, today's just not good, tomorrow's better, okay, great. Well, we'll do it. I'll burn the midnight oil for you tonight, get something together, and we're going to call you tomorrow. Again, sense of urgency. Let's get this done. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna finish on the presentation, and we're gonna go into the rebuttals and stuff. Okay, who's excited? Are we still? I mean, we're still got everybody's attention here. I know this has gone on a little bit, and just so you know, you're gonna have access to this entire training, so you can go back and listen to it again. But look, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. Benjamin says he needs coffee, so I must be putting you to sleep. Am I wooing you to sleep, Benjamin? No? Okay, good. Good. All right, so let's get into the rebuttals. Remember, I said rebuttals are nothing more than what? What are they, guys? What are rebuttals? John says hi. He says you turned me on to Mark yesterday. Right, rebuttals are not buying signals, guys. They're questions. They're unanswered questions. Ben got it. Exactly. Okay? Unanswered questions. Okay? So, number one, your objective is to isolate the objection so you can solve their challenge. That's the only thing you're going to do here. You cannot talk somebody into something they don't want to do. Don't be a steamroller, okay? You're just trying to solve their problem. Don't be intimidated. Don't be scared. Don't be concerned. It's not a big deal. This is normal. It's like if you found out, you went to the doctor, and the doctor told you that you had, some kind of illness, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is it? Am I going to die? And then you start asking all these questions. It's the same thing. Your customer's going through that too, but it's just a little different, okay? You're going to have to explore. You're going to have to ask questions. You're going to have to find out specifically what is the real question that they have that you haven't answered in your presentation or in your script or whatever it is, okay? There's something there. And they don't always just come out and say, hey, guess what? I got this problem. Oh, if you could solve this for me, I'll give you my money. They don't. Sometimes they do, but they don't usually do that. One of my favorite things is when to be able to isolate the objection, to find the true objection or true question, is to repeat what they say back to them. So what you're saying is you like what you hear today, and this is something you'd love to have, but you just don't know how quickly you're going to be able to recuperate your investment. Is that it? That's it? I mean, you'd be willing to do this if you knew that? That's it. And they're going to say, well, yeah. Well, because I also put the statement in the ridiculousness. So you're saying you like this, but you just, you're not sure how how I'm able to show you 4 times the investment. If you knew for sure you could do that, you'd be willing to buy today? That's it. Okay? Answer and confirm. Make sense? A lot of times when I give them the objection back and I repeat it to them, and then I come back and then I answer their question, I confirm with them, that makes sense. And I say that. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? That kind of thing? Because then what have they done? They said, oh, yeah, you answer my question. But if you leave that open, then you can keep on going on forward and all that stuff, and you didn't actually answer the question. Now, if you say it makes sense, and then I go, no, it doesn't, now you can come back and fix it. Okay? Redirect. Do not create objections for yourself. Don't make it harder for yourself to close more deals. And what I mean by that is just, you got to stay on script. Don't go off and say stuff that somebody hears that might actually make them go, oh, okay, you know what, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, tell me about that. And I've seen it happen so many times. That's the bloviating salesperson syndrome, who just loves and loves to talk. Stop. Okay? Know when to quit. Okay? I actually skipped over always be closing, and you know what? That's something that I always misunderstood going into sales. And for me, and that may be different for other salespeople, but for me, always be closing is kind of a way to assume the sale. Okay? It's not like trying to pressure somebody into doing something, but it's assume the sale. Assume they want it. Assume that it's going to happen, and just go in for the sale. Okay? All right, so here's the first objection that everybody's going to get. I know it happens right up in the front. It's not really an objection. It's a lot of times it's just a smoke screen. They don't want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. Who's gotten the I'm too busy objection? If you haven't gotten it, then you're not making any calls or you're not talking to anybody. Okay? Yeah, a lot of people saying, yep. Okay, I'm too busy. You know what, John? I completely respect that. In fact, if you're anything like me, you're probably wishing that there's a lot more time in the day so you can get more done. Now, the good news is that this is only going to take a few minutes. Plus, what I'm about to show you is going to put a lot more money into your bank account where it belongs. So, like I was saying, I'm going to go right into the script. Smooth like silk. That's it. And as you've seen, if you heard me saying it, I've said it a million times. I'm not reading it word for word. It comes out naturally, and that is how you're going to move past that objection. Okay, that's not really a question. It's just kind of a put off. Okay, send me some information. Now in parentheses up here it says before. Who's been asked right up front? Oh, you know what? Send me some information. Yes? Okay, good. You know what that means? You are getting put off. That's it. It's not nothing more than a put-off. They have no intentions of talking to you. Not at all. Especially if you haven't even got an opportunity to tell them what this is about. Oh, yeah. Send me some information. Here's my email. Okay? That's it. They're just getting you off the phone. So, here's how you fix it. Ready? Sure thing, John. Not a problem. You know what? In fact, I'm actually going to do that personally. Myself, I don't really like making a decision on anything unless I know for sure that it's going to benefit me, and I respect you for that. Now, the good news is that I insist on going above the call of duty. I'm sure that you can appreciate my philosophy to over-deliver whenever possible. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Are you in front of your computer screen? What did I do? All I did was just agree with them. Yeah, you're right, 100%. You should see more information. I'm going to give you as much possible information as you can. You know, the good news is that's my philosophy. I only do over-deliver. I never under-deliver. Matter of fact, let's go on with the presentation. And I'll go into my presentation right there. Okay, that's it. That's just again, it's kind of what you said is really not affecting this call. Let's move forward. And a lot of times, that'll get you forward. Jolene says, take them to a computer. What do you want to show them? Look, I'm just asking questions that's going to get them off the topic. Okay? You could show them a script. Remember I said yesterday, or maybe it was the first day, I know I've said it, but you can actually do a screen share, join me, or some kind of a meeting where you're showing them your desktop later once you're talking to them about their website and all that good stuff. But that's ahead of this. I'm showing you how to get through the push-off objections, the blow-offs, okay, the whatever. I don't have to put off, okay? Now, this is to send me some information after you've gone through the sale. Okay, now, I got to level with you. If this happens, they're not sold, okay? It's a cold, hard fact. You didn't do something right. 99% of the time, you might not have gotten there. Maybe when I say you didn't do something right, I'm always internally looking at it like, did I do something wrong? And so that's just my own issues that I have to deal with. But I really believe that when I'm talking to somebody, if I didn't get them at the end and they want to see more information, then something I didn't say to them that didn't click, okay? Most of the time, it's not that they want to see more information. They just want to get off the phone because there's something that you guys talked about that didn't really sit well with them. So, okay, so here we go. I'm going to say, you know what, John, I hear you. In fact, I'm going to do just that. We always like to start off a relationship on the right foot. I'm going to get you all the details in writing. This way, you know that we're 100% clear on everything that you're going to be getting. Now, let me just verify that I have the correct details. Name, number, and then go back in and try to get the sale. Now you're like, well, why are you going for the sale? Because we've already gone through the presentation. They should have had enough information to make a decision. And if they're saying send me some information, I'm just clarifying, yeah, I'm going to send you information. It's going to be a contract in writing. Everything that I said, the proposal, whatever. Okay? That's all in writing. So you have nothing to worry about. We've got your back. We're a good company. Da-da-da-da. Right? And then they're going to say, well, no, I just can't make a decision right now. Okay, well, you know what, John? I put my hands in the air, and if you guys could see me right now, my hands are in the air, like, whoa, okay, my bad type of a position. And I do this on the phone, and I don't even do it in person. I say, whoa, okay, you know what, I'm sorry. You know what? It's my fault. I must have done something wrong. What part of the offer are you still unclear on? That's it. Does everybody understand why I did that? Because there's no reason for them to say no if you did your job right. Okay? If you didn't do your job right, then there's a reason for them to say no, and that's why I'm asking where I dropped the ball, because they're like, oh, well, this guy actually cares. Okay, well, look, here's what happened. And then if they tell you the truth because they're a truthful and honest prospect, and you took the beginning of this call, you took everything I've told you up until now, this webinar, you guys have paid attention, you've used all of the things that we've talked about until this point, you've got the perfect prospect on the phone, and there's no reason for them to not buy. So you just got to find out what the problem was, okay? What's your website? Ugh, I hate that. Okay, when somebody says what my website is, it's like, really? And that usually happens in the beginning. Again, it's a blow-off. Because, again, nobody really cares about your website. That's another way just to get you off the phone. Okay, you got to get back to, all these are blow-offs, these are put-offs. Okay, absolutely, John. You know what? Let me get that for you. Grab a pen. You got a pen? Yeah? Okay, good. Perfect. My website address is www.greatsalesgenius.com, and my company is Sales Genius. You get that? Okay, and again, my name's Mark. That's spelled with a K, by the way. Now, again, the reason why I called you today is I go right back into the presentation because, again, it's just a blow-off. Now, the reason why I do that is this is a psychology type of thing. I'm taking them off their game because they're like, this guy is going to tell me that. I guarantee you, 99% of the time, I use this because I know, I've done this so many times, they're not even writing down your website address. Sometimes I'll even mess with them afterwards if they, I'll ask them, can you repeat that back to me? Not always, because I only do that to people I know who are just being a jerk. But, because they're not going to be able to tell you the website. They may sometimes just hang up on you. But the point is, I've taken them off their game. Most of the time, people won't do that, what I just did. Okay? They won't say, oh, yeah, let me give you that website. So I take them off their game. I slow them down. Okay, now, this is my website. It's spelled, and I purposely take like 15, 20, 30 seconds to do this part because it takes their head out of the game, and you've now taken back the control of the call, and you say, now, again, the reason why I called you today is you've got your presentation. You're going to win because you're in a position to win. You know where you're going. They don't. You just took the control from them. Okay? Now, I said down here in my notes, keep in mind this could be mainly trust issue depending on when it comes up, meaning if it comes up towards the end of the call, they want to just look at your website. That's kind of the send more information thing. You might need to figure out what specifically the problem was still. But if it's in the beginning, it's more of a blow-off. Okay? Partner or wife. Now, this is the one where if I had a wiffle ball bat, if you guys know what those are, those plastic baseball bats, I'd ding you over the head with it for getting this. Why? Because this is an issue with your pre-qualification. You didn't listen to what I just told you. Go back to the very beginning of this presentation if you're watching the recording. If you're live, look at your notes. You were supposed to ask them, if you like everything you see today, are you the person that makes the final decision or do you have a partner? Now, if they still lay this on you at the end and you can't close them, then you're going to ask, did I do something wrong? Why I guilt trip them. Like, what did I do? Was it something I said? Like, why you feel the need to lie to me? I won't say those words, but I'm like, wow, like I was doing my best to tell you everything up front. I want to be an honest person. That's something that really means a lot to me. Like I'm the type of person that like I just lay it on the line. I don't want to hide anything from you. I just want to be honest and upfront with you. Like say it a few times. Like make them realize that they're being shady right now for not telling you the truth, for telling you in the very beginning that I was talking to the person that can make the decision, and at the end telling me I have to talk to the partner. Get it? Because, yeah, I'm going to guilt trip them a little bit, and then what ends up happening, they go, oh, they're either going to hang up the phone and never take your call again because they feel so guilty that and they'll never do that again, by the way, right? You just taught them a lesson to never use that objection. in the wrong place, right? If you forgot that this guy was smart or this guy was smart and she asked you or he asked you all the questions up front and verify that you're the owner. Lay it on them. Don't be afraid to make that business owner on, on or up. Okay? Too much money. Now, this one happens a lot. Too much money is a big objection I get, and this is what I like to say. Hey, you know what? I hear you, John. Look, the best products are often way more expensive. Well, let me ask you this. What about my product makes you feel that way? Have you actually figured out the potential cost of not working with me? This is my favorite way to handle those objections because, hey, you get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. If you want something cheap, well, then you obviously are looking for quality. Go buy a Hyundai. Now, Hyundai is actually the bad example because their cars are gotten a lot better. That's just a perfect example of a company that's done a horrible job at positioning, right, in the very beginning. And that's something we can get off on a different topic about. But if you look at the situation and you realize, like, hey, like, you want me to get you customers, or do you want me to just take your money and tell you I'm going to get you customers? Because most of the time, John, that's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to say, give me your money, we're the best, and then it's less than what everybody else is, so that way you sign with them, and then they're just not going to help you. They're going to be like the worst company ever to do business with. Which would you rather have? Would you rather work with somebody who's going to take the proper amount of money up front, providing you good service, quality, all those things that I promised you that I was going to give you? Or would you rather just waste your money with some other company who really doesn't care? If that objection here, that objection right here should be a great investment for you to stay on as long as you've been on here today. Okay, that objection right there will get you the money. You know why? Because it's truth. It's nothing. There's nothing magical about what I'm telling you. It's back as I'm just using the truth. You like that objection? Put a 1 in the chat box. Okay, good. Lots of people saying yes. Good. Okay. This is another one that comes up. Look, I'm already happy. I've been with so-and-so for so many years. My nephew does my website, whatever. Okay? Whatever that is. Here's my objection to that. You know what, John? I hear you. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? In fact, I have to commend you on your loyalty. But for your peace of mind, doesn't it make sense to just take a look at what you're getting with so-and-so for the last X number of years, at least on a yearly basis? Of course it does, right? Why wouldn't it? Because, look, so-and-so, maybe they don't have practices in place, and I would let them know, say, look, John, look, here's the thing. Depending on what it is that you sell, you know, I say, look, John, here's the thing. You know, my company invests every single year in getting better at what we do. We go to conferences, we read books, we do lots of webinar online training, and, you know, we are familiar with all the best practices. I can't say that our competition is always in that mindset. They don't think that they have to get better. They just take people's money and not always provide the best quality, the best service. So I think it makes sense for you to at least see, you know, make sure that you're getting the best. I know you're comfortable, but you never know, right? Fear of change. This is another one of my favorite objections to handle. They're all my favorite because there's no problem with these objections, right? They're just easy. Like, if you look at it this way, the ways I'm giving you to handle them, it's so simple, okay? So fear of change, somebody just doesn't want to make a change because they like to keep it the way it is because it's not, you know, they aren't sure of the unknown of working with you. Look, John, look, I hear ya. If you notice, by the way, if I go back and look at all these objections, I hear you, I understand, right, all that. That's the way we start everything because you want them to realize that you're listening, okay? And, you know, I hear you, John. Look, I understand exactly where you're coming from. If you were thinking, if you were thinking it seems like things are changing every day, you'd be right. I mean, literally, every single day is something new. And sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, especially when all you just want to do is run your business. Now, the good news is that my job is to keep up with all those things. We do our best to stay above board with everything. And we want to do that so you don't miss a beat. My number one goal is to make you look good to your customers so we can help you increase your bottom line. The better you do, the better we do. Now, we have a guarantee. Our guarantee is to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. In fact, I'm not going to rest until I know you are. If you got to call me at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, most people close at 5, I'll take your call because I care about you. All right, John? So let's go ahead and get you going on this. Speaking of getting you going on this, this is the closing tips. Okay, this is the final part of our meeting together, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope everyone has been able to get a lot of good quality information, and you cannot wait to get out there and start putting it to action. Okay. So keeping control of the call. That is one of the best things. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you is, like I mentioned early on, and some of these objections and stuff. It's like taking control of the call. And when I say control, I'm not talking about power. I'm talking about control as in you know where it's headed. You know where it's headed. And that's not a power struggle. It's just that if you lose control, then it can go wherever you want it to go. And if you imagine, put yourself on a football field, okay, or even a basketball field, depending on what you like, soccer, whatever. There's always two goals. There's a goal on the left, and there's a goal on the right. One goal belongs to you. The other one goal belongs to your opponent. And in between those goalposts are these lines, right? Those yard lines, and then you have the end zones. Okay, your job, your goal, what you should be doing is trying to move it towards your end zone every step of the way. A little bit, until you score. That's it. Now, if you go out of bounds, that's not good, right? You get a penalty. And that's the whole goal for the sale. It's just taking it a little bit your way so you can get that score, okay? Pay attention to everything that's happening. Listen to what's going on around them. If you hear somebody interrupting them and you hear that they're not 100% listening, stop. Stop presenting until you get their attention. If you're in person and somebody's looking at other stuff and checking their text messages and stuff, and you're trying to sell them and they don't want to, they're not looking at you, guess what? When you go to ask for the sale, you're not going to get it because they didn't hear something that was really important to them buying. Especially if you're like me and you've crafted a presentation that takes them from A to Z, so that way at Z they're ready to give me their money. So make sure that you're listening and paying attention to what they're doing. Listen for buying signals and questions that might actually be an intention for them to make a decision right now, like they're sold, they're ready to go. Okay, skip from X to Z real quick. Okay, and just why is not that important? You can come back and answer that later. They ask questions like when I buy, right? And then again, assume the sale. Assuming the sale is just automatically going in, boom. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. A closed mouth never gets fed. You're never going to make anything out of your life and your business if you're afraid to ask for the money. Because they have to give you that for something to happen. Okay? For something to move forward, they got to start that. Everybody knows, and money makes the world go round a little bit, Okay. Handle objections, feel, felt, found. We've already covered all that, but it's just, I understand how you feel. A lot of people felt the same way, and they found that they working with us, this is the solution, right? I understand how you feel. A lot of other people have felt the same way. You're not alone. That they found after we did such and such that things were a lot better. Again, ask for the sale. Ask for the sale. You see me say this so many times because, look, 3 times on this one page. Because that's the most important part, is not being afraid to ask for the sale. So after you handle an objection, ask for the sale. Don't sit there like a bump on a log waiting for them to hand you another one. It's like if you're out in the middle of the field, or if you're playing dodgeball, someone's throwing a dodgeball at you, you move out of the way. That's what you do. You don't just sit there and wait for them to keep binging you with the ball. All right, so that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for some questions real quick. I know, like I said, we went we went along yesterday too, so I guess this is just the number. And, if you guys go back and listen to this again and again and again, you're just going to get better. I want everyone to realize the sales, like I said in the beginning, this is fun. It's fun stuff. You're going to get better and better at this part, and you'll see why most people who's in sales love it so much, because it's a rush to be able to help somebody. It's exciting to make sure that you're providing all the things that somebody needed to be able to make that decision. Okay. I'm getting some compliments, and I really appreciate it. iCatalyst says the content you provided is nearly equivalent to a license to print money. wonderfully comprehensive. I really appreciate that. And hey, by the way, iCatalysts, if you wouldn't mind on hashtagging Hot Prospector and giving us that compliment, it's always nice for those compliments to turn into some kind of a testimonial. You can even go to our page, our Facebook page, and leave us a compliment. We really appreciate that. Really, I really do. Let's see here. This training is great. Thanks so much. Looking forward to the replay to listen to it again. Awesome, Jolynn. I'm glad to hear that. Jonathan, do you have any good scripts and ideas for taking inbound calls or incoming calls? Yeah, the same script we just went over. It's the same. You know, you're going to just change the beginning to, you know, to suit whatever the situation is. But look, the conversation is going to be the same, whether you outbound it or you're taking an inbound call. Okay? It's just a matter of how you're generating the lead. You're going to change the introduction a little bit in the front end. David, really good training. Mark, I've been in sales for years and done dozens of trainings. Top notch. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Really do. Bill, great info. Now put it to practice. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. Let's see. Mark, could you give us some outsources for web services that we could offer? You know, I actually have one of the things, let's see, so as far as web services are concerned, I have a friend that does offer something in the web services niche. I'm going to talk to him this week and see if we can put something together for you guys. So, you know, just bear with me and let me talk to him and I'll see what I can do. Okay, Mark? Let's see here. What is your line for asking for the sale? Mark or Scott, good question. You ready? You know what? Let's get you going on this. I'd like to go ahead and start you up. Would you? What's your billing address? Is that 555 Main Street? Another one. So you ready to get started? Let's go ahead and get you started on this. I mean, it's more of a positivity type of thing, right? It's just moving them past. I mean, just letting them know, okay, let's go, right? I'm going to go ahead and help you get started today. Now, we could do that with a Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Which do you prefer to use to put your deposit? I mean, anything that involves them taking action, right? Don't send them to a website to buy. Don't do anything. Like, take their money right there, all right? A check by phone. I talk about that in the course in the sales webinar that you guys all listen to get into this course. You know, taking a check by phone is fun. Look, you know what? John, I also want to go ahead and get you started on this. And by the way, we like to do check by phone. So what's the name of your bank? Okay? And again, if they say no, I mean, that doesn't mean no. Or if they stop you, they wait, I still haven't said I'm going to do this yet. You know, okay, well, I just assumed that you were ready to go based on everything we talked about. What else is missing? Let's see here. Would like to deliver web services I could trust and use their portfolio for sales. Your recommendation is key. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. By the way, for those of you that are interested in our reseller program for Hot Prospector, we branded and put it under your logo. We have service training that teaches you to go out and sell those services and the products that actually have generated our mortgage lenders, our car dealerships, insurance brokers, payday lenders, all kinds of companies, lots and lots of money. So if that's something you're interested in, hit me up and send me an email, mark@hotprospector.com, and I'll take care of you. We'll get on the phone and I'll talk to you about it. Let's see here. Great training. What is the Facebook group name? We don't have a Facebook group name, but if you go onto Facebook and you search for Hot Prospector, you'll see my Facebook page where you can, I mean, like I said, I'd love to get the, you know, your feedback and, you know, appreciate the compliments. And just make sure you hashtag Hot Prospector, even if you do this on your personal, you know, your personal timeline, because then when people are looking for Hot Prospector, they'll see it. And, you know, that just helps with, you know, our feedback. Can we do this as a sole proprietor, or must we have a company or a website? You don't have to have a website. Matter of fact, when I first got started, Mark, I didn't have a website. I just used my LinkedIn profile. You know, and I actually put a little bit of work into my LinkedIn profile to make sure that it was geared towards what I was offering as a service. You got that area where you can type in all the information about yourself and, you know, what your services are, what you do. You can put in your portfolio. LinkedIn's pretty awesome for that. And, you know, somebody wanted to know, that they're working with somebody who's legit, you can say, look at my LinkedIn portfolio. And with me, I spend a lot of time asking for recommendations and getting people who have actually said, hey, Mark knows about this, Mark knows about that. So if somebody goes to my LinkedIn profile, I look like, a superstar. So getting them to buy is pretty simple. So yeah, definitely using LinkedIn is a huge advantage. Mark, great training today. In the materials you provided, there was a check draft Microsoft document for creating a client's check. What I don't see was the form and the verbiage you have the client attached to their check, to their fax, etc. You know what? That's the contract. I'm surprised I didn't put that in there. Let me look into that, Alfred, and see. It's probably in another folder, and I thought I shared it, but I'll get that. By the way, guys, if you're looking for some training on that, if you go to Google and type in how to print a check draft, you'll see my video shows up like on the first page of Google, and there's like, I don't know, last time I checked, there was tens of thousands of people who viewed that video. It's like one of my most popular videos. Let's see here. I know the training is for web developer people, but do you have any recorded training for a mortgage broker calling on homeowners? I know sales is sales, just asking if you had something already focused on calling homeowners. Edward, I don't have that kind of consumer training like available on a webinar like this. But I do offer some personal training and consulting with those types of individuals. So I need to take a drink. Hold on. Wow, talking for 2 hours straight, a mile a minute, and I only drank like a third of this bottle of water. Not bad. Yeah, so I don't actually have that kind of training available, but I do, like I said, offer personal training and consulting. So if that's something you're interested in, hit me up. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody's questions? If you had a question and I completely missed it, I didn't do it on purpose. I just got a lot of questions at once. So. Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, look, again, I appreciate everybody for coming out here. I'm going to put this presentation up as quickly as possible into the same folder that I sent out yesterday. So everybody who has that folder, if you go back to that link in maybe an hour, this should be there. It's just a matter of downloading it and uploading it, so you can watch it again tonight or tomorrow and whatever. And again, I don't actually have a problem if you wanted to share this training with people on your team or something like that, because the point of this training is to help you guys sell. I want to help you guys sell, and feel free to share. This kind of information is good for people to get out. Okay. Well, awesome, everybody. Again, thank you so much. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to end this. Didn't sign up until last night, so I did not get the link for the first training session. Hate to wait till the end to review at the beginning. Ben, you know what? Let me drop this in here real quick for everybody. I'm going to drop the link in here for everybody who's here that did not get this training. Let me see here. Boom, send to all. If you see the link that I just dropped there, it says hotprospector.wistia.com/projects. That's a folder. So there's one video in there right now to where you can see the one video, but when I add the other video in there, it should actually just add it in the folder. Somebody asked if I could make the replay downloadable. I don't know how that works with Wistia. I'll talk to Jasmine and see if there's a way to do that. Again, I don't have a problem with you guys downloading the training and using it. I mean, my goal here is to get people using our system and get people making lots of money with our system. So whatever that helps with that, that's great. You make money, we make money. It's a win-win. Reseller info. Mark, just if you want to be a reseller or you're interested in that, contact me at mark@hotprospector.com. Put my email in here, mark@hotprospector.com. Might get you set up with that. It's actually, we're running a special deal right now with that for the end of the year, because basically it's, our goal is to get the word out on this. We've got some really powerful stuff coming out in 2017. We're in the process of putting together a brand new website with lots of powerful sales copy. We're paying a lot of money to have that done. So next year is going to be really good for our system and our services getting out, and getting more customers. Mark, they can grab download helper, add on to Firefox, and they should be able to download the Wistia videos. Thanks, David. Good tip. So you should be able to download it through Firefox, guys, if you get the plugin or the add-on or attachment called Download Helper. The presentation is actually, Eric asked, do we have the presentation in PDF so you don't have to go through the entire video? This presentation was actually something that we gave you during the call, and you should have received it yesterday in your folder. It's in that offers and whatever folder. Here's the, I'll send it right here. It's not in a PDF. It's actually in a Word or Notepad. Not Word, Notepad, but Word. Yeah, it's Word. Word. Awesome. All right, any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Thanks again. You're welcome. All right, guys, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you all real soon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.